So it hasn't been 150% like confirmed by Star Wars or Lucasfilm or anything, but Variety and Hollywood Reporter and a bunch of places have reported that the Obi Wan Kenobi spin-off movie is definitely going to be a thing. It's a real thing. It's moving forward, and the rumor mill will just keep on turning, and a lot of people have been talking about this, and I just want to get my thoughts out there real quick because I have kind of an unpopular opinion, I guess, with these Star Wars movies that aren't the main Star Wars movies. I don't want them. Star Wars is my life. I love Star Wars almost more than I love my fiance. Almost. But too much of a good thing is bad. I don't need any of these spin-off movies. I don't need to see Han Solo's life explored. I don't really need it. I really didn't need Rogue One. I thought it was good, but as time goes on, I like it less and less. And I definitely don't really need to see Obi Wan Kenobi explored. I don't know. It sounds so cynical. I hate to be such a bummer type guy, but I don't want to get sick of Star Wars. I love Marvel and comic book movies, but there's a lot of them, and I don't want to see Star Wars become that. Now, maybe I have this train of thought just because I've lived my life, the majority of my life, knowing and accepting that there wouldn't be any more Star Wars movies. Up until a few years ago, I was completely content and made peace with the fact that we'd never have any more Star Wars movies. And now, we're getting more Star Wars movies, of which I enjoy Force Awakens a lot, but we're getting a shit ton of Star Wars movies, and it's gonna never stop rolling, and even when I die, Star Wars movies are gonna be keep on keeping on. That's really weird to say. That's really grim, actually. I will say, if you had to give me Han Solo or Obi Wan Kenobi, I would like to pick Obi Wan Kenobi to have a spin-off movie, but even still, I think we're good, honestly. We've gotten a lot of Obi Wan Kenobi. Because if we fill in the blanks, number one, I would try this if Ewan McGregor signed on board, because I absolutely love him, and I thought his take on the character was pretty damn good. Say what you want about the prequels, but I just, I don't know. I just think that there's not much to be explored there, and it's not really worth it. Star Wars Rebels completely tied a perfect bow on the Obi-Wan saga with the whole Darth Maul showdown in the desert that very classily led right up to A New Hope. Not as obnoxiously apparent as Rogue One did, but just very subtle, and I think it was a good conclusion to the Obi-Wan chapter that kind of filled in that hermit blank. Because honestly, if we have a movie about Obi-Wan when he's in exile on Tatooine, what is it going to be about? Honestly, if Obi-Wan's in exile, I want him in exile. He's just sitting around focusing and training on the Force and trying to get in touch with Qui-Gon and just vaguely keeping watch over Luke. I don't know what to tell you. I just like things to be kept vague sometimes. I don't need every single little intimate detail spelled out for me and filled in the blanks. It's a little contradictory because I am someone who read every expanded universe story I could get my hands on from beginning to end, and that's where I will say it could be interesting if they explore a young Obi-Wan Kenobi. That sucks because we can't get Ewan McGregor for that, but if we got someone good to play him, I guess I would be open to that, because in the expanded universe, at least, he had an interesting life leading up to him falling into the Jedi Order and then training with Qui-Gon Jinn. Maybe we have a young Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn going on Padawan adventures. I don't know. Because honestly, if they got Liam Neeson back as Qui-Gon and they explored a bit more of his character and made him actually the cool Jedi he's supposed to be, not the shitty on-screen Jedi that they kind of made him out to be in Episode 1, and exploring stuff with another one of his, he had a potential love interest at one point. There's a lot that they could do with him if he was the main focus, or if it was him and a really good young Obi-Wan who had good chemistry. I could try it. I could be down with that. There's a lot to be said here, because honestly, wait, what if they just got Ewan McGregor and they got Hayden Christensen back and they just filled in the blanks with some Star Wars Jedi adventure stories? That's crazy. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. I would want that, but that's just me. And you probably hear me, like, while I'm saying I don't want an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, if they do explore these avenues, I'm willing to try them. Because honestly, at the end of the day, it is Star Wars, and I am going to try it because I love Star Wars, and I want the best for it. Because I do love it, and I do enjoy it, and I just want the best from it, you know? And I feel like I would do myself a disservice to be like, no, not going to see it. Because that, to me, is shitty and disingenuous of a Star Wars fan. I'm just extremely skeptical, and I wanted to put that out there. I love an excuse to talk about Star Wars on this channel, so I'm taking it. But I know I'm kind of being a cynical asshole with this. I just really think too much of a good thing is bad in some cases. I don't want Star Wars to become the beating the dead horse, you know? But I have spoken to some of you guys on Twitter and stuff who are like, Star Wars is my life, and I will take all of it that I can get. And you know what? I get that, because I am that way to a point. but with the main movies and these new spin-off movies, this is where I pay a little more attention. So I do want to know what you guys are thinking. Star Wars fans, let's talk about this. How do you feel about an Obi-Wan movie? What do you want it to be, really, honestly? Do you want it to explore the in-between time, Obi-Wan's exile, his hermitness on Tatooine? Or do you want it to explore his early life? Maybe something potentially like in the EU, getting kicked from farm to farm until falling into trading with Yoda and then Qui-Gon in the Jedi Order. I do want to hear from you guys, though, what you think about this stuff. If there is an Obi-Wan movie, what do you want from it if you have to have it? Let's talk about this. Thank you for coming around, though, and listening to me ramble about Star Wars and Obi-Wan for a couple minutes. I really appreciate it. Clicking the like button does help me out on this humble side channel. I do appreciate it. But as always, I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe because video games.